everyone. I'm Tracy Austin, and this is Tennis Channel Academy. The Tennis Channel Academy production team has crisscrossed the entire country, spending time with the top coaches in our sport.
Keep them a little tough or short, okay? Good going.
These are the same coaches who mold promising players into champions.
Watch the jump.
Now they will teach you the same way they coach and mentor the stars.
See how we've got that nice shape there?
Aggressive feet make an aggressive tennis player.
As you will see, there are as many ways to teach winning tennis as there are ways to win.
Jump your feet, jump your feet, jump your feet.
And as many personal styles.
Your opponent's going to need a spoon to get that thing back.
If you love the game, more importantly, if you play the game, this show will be your game changer. In our Tennis Channel Academy Best Of shows, we focus on the best tips in movement, technique, and strategy. This Best Of episode is all about the backhand. Whether you hit with one or two hands, run around it, or step into it, you will leave this Tennis Channel Academy an expert in the art of the backhand.
Check it out, man.
Ready, set,
Well, the backhand's a really important shot in modern tennis.
Most of the top women, their backhand really is their strength.
My signature shot, my weapon, was the two-handed backhand. It was my go-to shot during my career.
The backhand down the line in women's tennis is probably the most important shot in the women's game.
The match for Sharapova.
My one-handed backhand is a big advantage because I can use it different ways. I have many options.
There's that trademark backhand from Enan.
It's one of the most awesome shots in tennis.
I can change the rhythm on clay. That is really important.
Her backhand does it all.
On the men's side, their forehands and their serves tend to be their strengths. But if you've got a great backhand down the line, you can counter their strengths.
In the men's game, where backhands are important, are you able to chip? Are you able to drop shot off of it? Are you still able to step into the ball and hit winners?
Oh, what a shot.
Elena Dementieva may have one of the most technically perfect backhands in tennis. Harold Solomon knows the keys to her success, and now he passes them on to you.
When hitting a backhand, the first thing you need to think about is a good split step. Elena has a great split step. See how she sinks into her legs. She's perfectly balanced. Her hands are in front. Her eyes are in front, tracking the ball. She's ready now to make her initial move to the backhand side there, out of this balanced split step. I will make a unit shoulder turn. My shoulders will take my racket as far back as they can to here. My racket comes up above my wrist when it comes back. All my weight is getting pushed from my right leg onto my back leg in the loaded position here. She splits, she stays low. Then she turns, her shoulders turn, her hips are turned, bringing her racket back. As you notice, her racket comes back high. Her feet and her legs are perfectly balanced. Her right foot, the heel is off the ground. All of her weight now is transferred to her left leg. Now she's ready to make the initial move to the ball. After you loaded your weight on your back foot, your hips will initiate that move to the ball. Now she goes into the hitting phase. The racket drops into the slot. Her weight is all on her back foot on the inside of her left leg. And now we'll get ready to move up into the hitting position to be able to hit the ball. Her eyes are directly on the ball, on the contact point. Her racket will drop under the ball, coming up to make contact. Her weight has now started to move up into the ball. You can notice that her weight has shifted off of her back leg onto her front leg. You really want to think about brushing up on the ball there. It's not a flick with your wrist, it's a brush up with your hands up into the ball. Her racket comes up high. Her weight is all on her back foot on the inside of her left leg. Her hips start to open. Her racket comes from under the ball up to the ball, making contact. Her eyes are directly on the contact point. As she makes contact, all of her weight now transfers to her front leg, and her finish comes up and around, over her shoulder, and her eyes and her body are perfectly balanced, focusing on the ball. As you finish your swing, your foot will come up. For some players, it will come up even with their right foot. Other players will come all the way up and come all the way through. Finishes are different. Having the foot come through shows you that you're transferring your weight into the shot. If you're making an aggressive move to the ball, the momentum of your weight coming from your back foot to your right foot will carry you into the court.
Hit it, hit it.
From a powerful two-hander to a classic one-hander. When we come back, Justine Henin breaks down her beautiful backhand. John McEnroe describes Justine Henin's one-handed backhand as one of the best shots in the game. Now Justine herself walks you through the ins and outs of one of the cleanest strokes in tennis.
Well, the elements for one-handed backhand, it's, you know, the footwork for every shot is really important. So you need to look at the ball and estimate the distance. So your footwork depends on that. First step must be the left step. Here you go. Then you put your right foot and your weight moves forward on your right foot, on your right leg. Then you put the racket back. You use your left hand to bring the racket back. The most important thing is that the racket must be higher than the contact point when you're going to hit it, so it must be a little bit higher. My right arm goes there, and my left arm goes up. It's really important. That helps to find a good balance. If you don't use it, you feel like, you know, it's really tough. If you use it, you feel perfect on your legs. And you use your wrist at the end, and your shoulders stay like this. It's really important that you don't face, you know, the court. You face here. And you keep good balance, and that's a key in the one-handed backhand.
Okay, very good serve. Boom. How good is that?
The other option with the backhand is the slice. Technically, the difference between the backhand with spin, when you hit your backhand, and when you slice it, is the grip. When you do it one-handed backhand, you have to close your grip much more. When you do slice, you open it much more. So it's really questioning of grip. So it does change everything after in the shot. When your grip is, when you do the spin, you go like this. When you do the slice, you go like this. And it's the same. Your racket doesn't have to be so high or too low. It has to be there. And really, always you look over your shoulder. You look at the ball and then you look over your shoulder. So when you hit the ball, it's so different. Your racket goes like this. With the spin, it goes, look at my hand, it goes like this. So it's a really different shot. very important for one-handed backhand, but I would say for every shot, you must be relaxed in your shoulders. That gives the opportunity to be in the good rhythm. If you relax, if you tight, your shoulder goes like this. If you relax, you are free in your movements. You can do anything you want.
Slice backhand that Justine hits really well.
When we come back, John Everett will make sure the left hand isn't left out of the backhand. Stay tuned for more from Tennis Channel Academy Best of Backhands. John Everett coaches some of the top juniors in the world at the Everett Academy. Here, he teaches us about the importance of using the left hand when hitting a backhand.
Modern backhand has become much more angular, similar to almost the forehand, and much more left side dominant. The grips have changed from a continental more toward an eastern and a semi-western, and that's due to the equipment. The new grips will allow a player to hit with tremendous amount of spin, heavier balls, and actually open the court up a lot more effectively. Stances have gone from closed or crossed over stances to more neutral, semi-open stances. Players are hitting off their left side and they're turning into the ball more. The angular momentum has been much more predominant than linear momentum. What we find with a lot of our juniors is they're not strong enough on their left side. So we like to do drill progressions focusing on their left side, playing a little bit more open, and be able to eventually open up the court and create angles. The first drill of the progression to work on the two-handed backhand is to address the left hand. The grip we want is somewhere in between an eastern and semi-western, and we're going to have her work on strengthening her racket head speed and getting spin with her left hand. If you notice, her left elbow is a little bit close to the body. When Isla sets that elbow too close to her body, she has to swing from in to out, and she's not able to work her hand through the ball and get spin. What we like for her to do is set the elbow a little farther out, so if she's hitting with two hands, those hands are out here, and she can drop and hit more of the outside of the ball when going cross-court. Now we're going to progress to a two-handed backhand open stance. Work on loading the left side and turning more into the ball. Good. Still concentrating on keeping the hands out, hitting deep and heavy. We would incorporate flattening a couple balls out. Not quite as safe a shot, but a shot she'll use when she wants to hurt her opponent. From here, what I'd like Isla to do is add a third shot, and that's to open up the court and hit an angle inside the service box. The swing path is slightly different in that she's swinging a little bit more across her body, hitting the outside of the ball a little bit more, dropping the racket head a little bit more, and coming over the ball a little bit faster to get the ball to move from up to down, creating a better angle.
When we come back, we talk defense on Tennis Channel Academy Best of Backhands.
This exercise, we call it the drop shot exercise, and it's very demanding because we are going to work in three components that are very demanding for the player. The first one is the running to the drop shot. So we have to change the speed and go very fast to the drop shot. Second thing we're going to work is stopping to that drop shot, because we want to stop sideways to be able to hit the ball where we want. We have to make the student that he arrives with this foot like this. He can see the opponent, he can play down the line, or he can play cross-court or long. Voila! Eso! The third one, we have to be able to go backwards to be able to hit the smash. So we have to go to transfer the weight from the body backwards to be able to hit the smash. And back, come on, come on, come on, come on. Good.
For more information on Sanchez Casal Academy, go to asc-florida.com.
One of the most popular shots in modern tennis is the inside-out forehand. It's so effective because it pins the opponent deep in the backhand corner. It's essential to develop a backhand defense against this deadly shot. Here, Craig Carden teaches you how.
And that's huge.
The inside-out forehand is one of the most powerful shots in tennis. It takes your opponent off the court. It puts him in a defensive position. There are basically two kinds of inside-out forehands to defend against. There's the one forehand that's hit maybe a little bit flatter, hit a little bit harder through the court, and the ball takes you outside the court. The second type of inside-out forehand is a high looping topspin ball. It clears the net very high, but it lands very deep in the court. So there's two particular types of defense against these shots. The defense against a hard, flat, inside-out forehand starts with your footwork. You've got to get yourself quickly over there behind the ball. There you go. Starting with the outside foot, little bitty steps going towards the ball. You really want to get your left foot anchored behind the shot. Rotating forward, weight, trying to come forward inside the court. Crossover, step back, shuffle it back to the center. Short little steps to the ball, and then back inside the court. She starts out with that left foot going towards the ball. And also ends up with her left foot anchored right behind the ball on the shot. Float a little bit more off your left foot. The second thing on defending that ball is using a little bit of a grip change. There's a subtle grip change in this particular shot. From the conventional grip on your backhand, you're going to rotate your left hand a little bit more forward, creating a cupping. The racket becomes a little more open so that you can actually curve that ball around a little bit. And once you make contact with the shot, your aim is to the center part of the court with a short bunting ball that lands low, or a short angle cross-court ball. And after you finish the shot, try and find your way back towards the center to the middle of the court. The racket's going to stay just slightly below the ball. Nice long follow through after the shot. Body's just taking a short shoulder turn. The racket already back in place. Woo!
Brilliant. That's why he's a Grand Slam champion.
In responding to the second type of inside-out forehand, which is a high looper, it lands deep in the court and puts you under tremendous amount of pressure. First thing is preparation. As you start moving towards this type of shot, you want to get your left foot behind where the ball bounces. This is very important for your alignment with your feet so you can have perfect balance and hit through the shot. Starting with the left foot, shuffle steps, you can actually step into the shot. Short little steps, and the outside left foot lands behind the ball. So crossover step, shuffle, shuffle, back to the center. That's how you want to move on this shot. The second thing you want to look at is your shot selection. You're not going to have a whole lot of strength trying to hit a high topspin ball here back cross court. So I recommend you maybe take a couple of steps back, set your racket slightly below the ball, and brush up behind it with good acceleration, creating a lot of topspin, and try and loop the ball maybe down the middle or down the line, and that puts you back in the point. Preparation's up high behind the ball, brushing up back behind it, coming back to the center. Catch the ball a little bit higher with lots of topspin to give you a lot of margin for error.
That's it for Tennis Channel Academy's Best of Backhands. Thanks for watching. I'm Tracy Austin reminding you to move your feet and keep your eye on the ball.